You want to dominate your 10-man ESPN points league draft, but you cannot find anything on the internet that will help you. Then, finally, you find a podcast, but they only talking about category leagues. Oh, you found a YouTube video, but they only doing 12-man points leagues. You start losing hope, and then you find someone who totally gets it. Come here. I love points leagues too. In this episode, we will be conducting a 10-team points league mock draft on ESPN, drafting from the 7th position. We believe every NBA fan who plays fantasy football should also play fantasy basketball. So here we are, back again, like we never left, about to cook up on ESPN. These things happen fast. So we sent the link out to our Discord community. So while I have a minute before we even get started, I want to just give some quick shout outs to some of our brand new members to the Discord community. Big shout out to Freeze. Big shout out to Carmi. Big shout out to Mr. Brandon Onyu. Big shout out to Avi. Big shout out to Mater. We just did we just ranked his or rated his fantasy basketball team on TikTok. Big shout out to Miguel, Juanito. Big shout out to Benjamin Onan, Lightning, Nookie Cookie. We also rated his fantasy basketball team. Big shout out to CJ La Luna 12, Saloyo, Lesto Dial. Big shout out to Will Boss 145, Lakers Fan 23, Sleep, Vinny Parshad, Stoon, and Lugsy, Neatway DV, and B. Heezy. I think we'll stop there. A lot of new members coming to the group right now. If you're pulling up live, I want you to do me a favor. Just drop a comment. Let us know where you are checking in from. Where are you going to be checking in from? And I got Ivan Mariano pulls up. He says, hey, man, I think I'm going to join this league. Is it going to be active? Well, the mock draft, if you're joining this mock draft, it's going to be active. This is not a league, my man. This is actually a mock draft. So let me go ahead and get my thing going up in here because, you know, I'll be sitting here talking to y'all. Next thing you know, the daggone mock draft started. Oh, we got a little bit of time? So I got a little bit of time. I believe so. Okay, cool. Let me take a look here. Cool. It looks like it's full. Let's go ahead and share my screen just so you guys can see what's happening here. Typically, the draft might not go down in that actual thing here. So let's shout out the people who are actually pulling up live to the draft. Let's start off with Nicholas Nifty. Till further notice. Till further notice, we actually did a rating of his fantasy basketball team on TikTok. If you haven't checked us out on TikTok, please check us out on TikTok. Chris's competitive team, Harish's heated team. Yo, y'all are mad funny. Alex's astounding team, Jet's scary team. They name your team for you. Believe In's best team. That they could have thought of something better. Madden's magnificent team, David's daring team. What is this? ChatGPT? Miguel's monstrous team. That might be the best one. I don't know. But we got a full draft room here. So just talking a little bit about a smaller draft. Sometimes people get really hyped up about drafting and they're taking information from folks who are generally giving information about 12-point leagues, which is like the standard, right? 12-team leagues, excuse me. So 12-team leagues are the standard. So you need to be really mindful of that when you're looking at rankings, tiers, to start thinking about how a huge percentage of the people on your rankings list and on your projection list might not even be draftable players because you're rocking in a smaller league like a 10-man league. Even more so when you're going in any league smaller. We got a message from somebody today requesting that we do a 6-team league. I don't know if I can do a 6-team league because I don't know how many people are doing that. But if enough people want a type of content, we will deliver. And that's really what Believe In is about. It's not about what the standard is, what everybody else does. It's about making sure that we support everyone in the fantasy space. So we got people in my community right now who are asking me to do my category league rankings. So for me, I'm comfortable doing that. But if there wasn't a need for it, I really wouldn't do it because I don't got time. For the points leagues rankings, again, the community asked for it, and it was an overwhelming, outpour for people like, who need this information going into their draft. So I made the points leagues rankings. If you want the points leagues rankings, all you have to do is join our Discord community, and you can get access to them. All you have to do is visit BelieveInFantasy.com. You could grab them joints right there. It's a shareable. I mean, it's a document, a Google Sheet document that you can actually copy and then make your adjustments. You can move people up and down. I know we had a trade at the time of recording this. We just heard about Drew Holiday going over to the Boston Celtics, so I had to make some adjustments. I actually moved Drew down a little bit. I stabilized him. I didn't move him up or down until we knew what happened with the situation in Portland. And once he got moved to Boston, then I had to move him down. But that's the exciting part about it. You putting your own input into it. What up, Miguel? That's my man. No, I'm going to do it. It's going down in 9 minutes. It's going down in 9 minutes. So we're gonna do the draft. It starts at 11:05. Typically, they'll let us into the draft room at 11:05 on the dot, and then 5 minutes after that, we'll be drafting. So I have the 7th pick, so I'm hoping to see if the cover boy of this episode, Giannis Antetokounmpo, falls to me, because I think people are fading him in points leagues right now with the addition of Damian Lillard. I want to see if that comes across here in this mock draft. So I'm excited to see what happens there. But I think everyone could build a really good team in a 10-man league. Think about it like this: when you're thinking about starting a league with your friends, if it's your first year and you only got 10, the cool thing about it is it's almost like when you play 2K and you have like all-star teams against each other, right? So that's something that most people like to do, right? You like to play teams against teams for the most part, but I know sometimes, especially when I'm playing against, like, let's say my little cousin is not so good on the sticks. So if I play him in 2K, I might say, yo, why don't you pick the 90s all-star team and I'll pick like the 60s all-star team or something like that. Really cool. And then you got 2 all-star teams going up against each other. Or you might say, hey, why don't you pick the all-time Bulls? I'll take the all-time Lakers and let's play against each other. It's very similar with a 10-man or 8-man league. It's like everyone kind of gets an all-star team, which is really cool. So I want you guys to be mindful of that when you are building these rosters. For me, I think a top-heavy roster, especially when you're under 12 teams in a league, works really well because it's easy to build those. So you might look at a person, let's say like Dan Gafford, Mark Williams, people who in a 12-team league are super valuable. They could be disposable assets that could get you a early round guy, someone like Donovan Mitchell. You could package those two and maybe a Devin Vassell, and you can get a 3-for-1 and get somebody like Jalen Brunson. So that's something to be really mindful of. I think the draft room will be opening in approximately, geez Louise, would this thing hurry up? 3-minute window. And the thing about these drafts, they always pop in fast. Like next thing you know, oh, I'm drafted. If you have questions in the live stream, feel free to drop them. I just got one from my man, David Vega. David Vega says, what did you think of the trade in our Dynasty League? I sent Fox, Mobley, Anthony Simons, and Sohan for Trey, Triple J, and Jalen Green. I didn't see that, honestly, but I'll give you my take on it now. So you sent over your De'Aaron Fox, your Mobley, your Simons, and Sohan. You got back Trey, which is good. You got back Triple J, which is good. You got back Jalen Green. First of all, I think it's a fair trade. In terms of the side that wins, I really like Trae Young. I know Trae Young is not getting the kind of love that he got maybe last year or the year before that. But for a dynasty league, I think his value is stable. He has tons of upside still. He's a young guy and he's consistent. For me in this trade, though, my favorite player would be Mobley. So I'm okay with you getting Trae and Triple J. Not to sleep on Triple J. He's definitely an asset. Jalen Green, I'm not as crazy about. Looking at like Fox and Mobley as the main pieces here, I definitely think that a Mobley is my favorite player here. Not necessarily the best right now, but I think he might have the most dynasty upside. He could be like the next Tim Duncan. Quiet as kept. So for me, I would prefer to have held on to him. Let me open his draft room. Look, David, you got me talking. I'm about to miss the daggone draft. Draft is going down in 29 seconds. I hope that answers your question, David. I'm going to have to get this thing going. All right, so we're going to go big screen on the draft. Draft room is open. It looks like, the draft already started. Look at that. It always happens like that. Nikola Jokic off the board first. 10-team mock draft on ESPN. Number 2 is Giannis Antetokounmpo. And then we got Luka Doncic. I thought that Giannis would fall to me at 7. This is good news, though. People still believe in him. I wouldn't have expected to see Luka go before Giannis, though. That was quite shocking. Joel Embiid is off the board with the 4th pick. Big shout out to Harsh's Heated Team. Aspects, who is also in the Discord community. Thank you, Aspects, for being here. We rated his team too. I think he might have joined a community through TikTok. A lot of the people who joined the community joined through TikTok. So I think that's really dope. And then we got Tatum going 5th off the board. So we got Jokic at 1, Giannis at 2, Luke at 3, Joel at 4, Luke at 5, SGA at 6, and I am up. Here, I do not like grabbing Anthony Edwards this early. I'm looking for KD, but it looks like KD is way down here at 20, so I'm going to just change it up a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and grab Halliburton. I haven't grabbed Halliburton in any of my drafts, so I'm going to take Halliburton with the first. I'm going to see if KD falls to me. So if I can grab KD on the turn, I'll be really happy. I don't think that will happen because most of the people in this draft might be listening to my voice right now. So just saying. After Tyrese Halliburton, we have Anthony Edwards off the board. Anthony Edwards is not a first-round player yet. He is not a first-round player yet. Most analysts in the industry, in the space, do not have him in the first round. The rankings here would indicate that he is a first round, or the ratings, I should say, the projections here in ESPN would indicate that he is, in fact, a first-round player. He hasn't been a first-round player yet. So I don't know. I think he's overvalued right now, but I love him. I want him on my team. If you drafted a few weeks ago, maybe a month ago, you probably got him for way, way less than an 8th pick. So after Tyrese goes Anthony Edwards at 8, Steph Curry at 9, Domantas Sabonis at 10. On the turn, Miguel's monstrous team grabs Booker, and then Trae Young falls to the 2nd pick in the 2nd round. Madden's Magnificent is up. We got Damian Lillard on the board. Donovan Mitchell. LaMelo Ball is out here still on these streets. Look, man, I want KD, but LaMelo is staring me in my face. I already got a point guard, so I'm kind of like, what do I do? And for me, I don't get caught up in all that positional nonsense. You know what I'm saying? But I would take LaMelo here, but I really love KD. Like, there's no way I'm not going to get KD. If I got Halliburton too, let's go. Turn that volume down. So I'm not. I think LaMelo is good there. I think LaMelo should be going a lot earlier, actually, especially if he's healthy. Jets grabs him. Great pick, Jets. Great pick. So that was with the round 2, 2nd pick was Damian Lillard. Trae Young, excuse me. 3rd pick was Damian Lillard. I grabbed KD at the 4th pick in the 2nd round. Then we had LaMelo Anthony Davis off the board. LeBron James goes 7th in the second round. Then we have Donovan Mitchell. That's interesting. Still on the board, we got DeJounte Murray, Lauri Markkanen, Jalen Brunson, Kyrie Irving, Jordan Poole. I think Jordan Poole is going super high. I'm not there. Take a sip of this drink. I'm not there with Jordan Poole, y'all. I am not a believer yet. You got to show me something before you go off the board at 22. 22? That's crazy. They got him too high for me. After Donovan Mitchell, we had Jalen Brunson. De'Aaron Fox goes with the 10th pick in the second round. At the top of the third, we got Kyrie Irving. I think that's great value for Kyrie Irving. Man, if you grab Kyrie Irving, in the third round, whew, man, even in a 10-team league, whoa. Then DeJounte Murray goes off the board. Then we got Lauri Markkanen. Then we got Jaylen Brown. Next up, Aspects is on the board again. He has Poole, Siakam, Adebayo. Lots of goodness here. I would be looking at Adebayo. I will also be looking at then he grabs Zion. I'm trying to work a trade right now with one of my league mates in one of my dynasty leagues for Zion. Zion for this season, I don't know. I know there's pictures of him working out and stuff. The Instagram models let him out of the house. I get it. Nah, man. Football is back, and BetOnline is your number one information source for all your sports wagering info with all the up-to-the-minute stats, news, scores, and matchup breakdowns. Get the latest game odds, spreads, and totals from the NFL and college football at your fingertips with BetOnline's real-time updates on statistics, news, and odds from week 1 all the way to the college football playoff and Super Bowl. BetOnline gives you access to the best football promotions and contests available anywhere online. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to get in on the action. Remember, use our promo code BELIEVE to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, where the game starts. I'm on the board. I'm looking at we got Cade Cunningham here. I'm looking at James Harden. I'm looking at Karl-Anthony Towns. So I'm going to just go for Cade. Because he's not going to come back around. So I'm going to reach for him according to ESPN's. I think this is great value for him, though. I definitely take Cade before Poole, Siakam, DeMar DeRozan, Nikola Vucevic, Banchero, Jimmy Butler. Maybe not Mikal. Maybe I would take Mikal Bridges. I might come back for Mikal Bridges if he's available. I don't know. Darius Garland, Julius Randle, Victor Wembanyama. In a points league, Jaren Jackson Jr., Brandon Ingram, Kawhi Leonard. All of these guys, I take Cade Cunningham before them. I believe Cade Cunningham is going to make the leap into the first round this season. Mark my long, loving words. Come on, man. It's serious. Cade Cunningham is going to be a first-round player. Promise you. Okay, I got something on the turn, then I'm going to do a recap. So I'm looking at right now, I don't have any Victor stock. 4th round Victor, interesting. Not more interesting than 4th round James Harden. And James Harden is a risk, y'all. I'm not high on James Harden by any stretch of the imagination, but if I could grab him this late, it's something I just got to do it, especially when you talk about just in a 10-team league, there's going to be so much juice on the waiver wire. The waiver wire is going to be ripe like mangoes in July. I'm telling you. So me taking James Harden is a risk, but it's me taking the top off. Topless. The boobies is out. Hair blowing in the wind. Like I am going for it on that one. I'm sorry. So let's do a recap. After DeJounte Murray, we had Marketing, Jaylen Brown, Zion Williamson, Bam Adebayo. I grabbed Cade Cunningham with the 7th pick in the 3rd round, DeMar DeRozan, Karl Anthony Towns, Jordan Poole. I think that's way too early for Jordan Poole. Pascal Siakam. I think that's a little early for Siakam. Mikal Bridges, Vucevic, Harden. A risk, but a risk I'm worth taking. Evan Mobley. I bombed there. I should have grabbed Evan Mobley instead of Harden. That is my fault. Great pickup, Jets. Darius Garland, Jimmy Butler, Paolo Banchero, Victor Wembanyama. I'm okay with taking Victor Wembanyama in the 4th round with the 9th pick in a 10-team league. Julius Randle, Jaren Jackson Jr., Kawhi Leonard. Heck to the nah. I'm out on him. Brandon Ingram, he's about to be heck to the nah with all those injuries he had. Ja Morant, and then we're back to the queue. So I'm up in 3 picks. Let me get focused because Jets is not playing. That Evan Mobley pickup was really good. Right now, I'm going to be looking at this point in the draft. I'm going to be looking at Kristaps Porzingis. I'll cue him up. I'll be looking at Walker Kessler, DeAndre Ayton, Fred VanVleet, Jarrett Allen, Paul George. Oh, man, there's still some goodness here. Jalen Williams. Okay, so let's see what we got. I don't know why Spencer Dinwiddie is so high. That is insane. Like, that should not happen. I don't have any Kessler stock, but I got to grab Freddie. Like, I don't know why Fred VanVleet is falling this low. I'm going to take Freddie here. I'm sorry. I'll get those big men on the turn. I got to get me some Fred VanVleet there. But yeah, I don't know why is Spencer Dinwiddie ranked 42? I don't think that's what? Where do I have him in my rankings? Do I have him that high? Like, I hope I don't. I got to go back and check that. That's crazy. Anyway, let's get back to the recap. So we had Ja Morant went with the 4th pick in the 5th round. Desmond Bane, wow. Man, aspects. That's a great pickup. That is way too late for Desmond Bane. There is no way Desmond Bane should be going that late. Great pickup. Josh Giddey, that's okay. Fred VanVleet, I think that's a great pick. I think that makes up for me sleeping on Evan Mobley a little bit there. Scotty Barnes, Zach LaVine, Spencer Dinwiddie. Where they do that at? Come on, man. I love Spencer Dinwiddie. Actually, I talked about it on a previous episode. He pulled up to a program that I was managing and gave Thanksgiving dinner away to some kids in New York City back in the day. So I'm all about Spencer Dinwiddie in real life. I ain't drafted him on my fantasy team in the 5th round in a 10-man league. Come on, man. Where they do that at? Jamal Murray goes next. Playoff Murray. Alperen Şengün. Not mad at that at all. I'm going to be looking at Allen, Kessler. I'm going to grab Paul George, man. Y'all sleeping. Matt is magnificent. Leave him alone. Let him come home. Grabbing Paul George. And listen, there's obviously concerns around injury, but we don't know what's going to happen. The thing that I know about Paul George, if he's healthy, he going to play. It ain't like a situation like Kawhi Leonard where he going to pull up with like a portable blow-up mattress and pull it up on the sideline and take a nap, you know? So like at this point in the draft, if I could grab Paul George, like what are we in? We in round 6 in a 10-team league? Come on, man. Like, I don't give a shit soup puppy. I'm going to grab him. I got to. Especially when players like Tyrese Maxey go before him. I think Tyrese Maxey is great. I think he's awesome. I think Jamal Murray's okay. I'm not taking him before Paul George. Paul George is an elite level player, man. Walker Kessler, though, I would take. After Paul George goes Walker Kessler, then we got Kuzma. That's a little early for me on Kuzma. Beal, CJ McCollum. I'm not in on CJ. I'm out. Drew Holiday. Maybe. I need to see what happens. I need to see how they're going to figure it all out. Like, people need minutes. They lost their backup point guard, so it's Derek White, their new point guard, and I'm out on Derek White too. Like I am totally out on Derek White. I was in on him, actually very, very high on him. I was exceptionally high on him. But with him actually coming over and, not him coming over, but with Drew Holiday coming over and becoming the new starting point guard there, like you got to have concerns. You got to have concerns. So in a points league, where everything matters, like every category matters, you want to be mindful of that. Ooh, I don't believe I'm about to get my main man. You ready? 3, 2, 1. Chet Holmgren. Chet, come on home to your brother, man. Come on home. I feel like Travis Kelce at a Taylor Swift concert. Let's get it. Oh my gosh, let me do the recap real quick. So, excuse me. So after Drew Holiday, we have Porzingis, Trey Jones, way too early for Jones there for me. Green, a little early. Ayton, Allen, Anthony Simons. I wouldn't do that. Franz Wagner, Chet Holmgren. I think that is it. Chet Holmgren. It's a sin to pass on Holmgren. Then Chris Middleton went. Jalen Williams, Miles Turner. Very good pick, Miguel. Oh my God, that's good. Austin Reeves, OG Anunoby. David, great pick. Scoot Henderson, look at me in my face. Jakob Poeltl, D'Angelo Russell, Clint Capella, Rudy Gobert, Valanciunas, Chris Paul, Dan Gafford, Jeremy Grant, interesting. Brandon Miller, Mark Williams, Onyeka Okongwu, one of my favorite players. I'm probably gonna grab Scoot here. Like at this point of the game, like I'm okay grabbing me some rookie action here, as no one really I'm super crazy about. I like Jakob Poeltl here as well, but I'd rather go with the upside with a player like Scoot Henderson. Let's get it. We're gonna go Scoot. We're gonna go Scoot. Looks like we got about 5 more rounds left. I have yet to draft a center, so I'm going to clean up on centers in the back end of this draft. I'm going to go ahead and start filling up my queue with some of those guys to see if they're still available. I'd be open to grabbing Westbrook as well. If I could get Clint Capella and Onyeka Okongwu, that would bring me joy. Great joy. I like Valanciunas as well. Also interested in Brook Lopez. Interested in Chris Paul, Dan Gafford, Jeremy Grant. Don't have much interest in Derek White, so I'm going to just skip over him kindly, respectfully. No disrespect, no shade. He's a great player. Just not a player for me. Tyler Hero, heck to the no. I'm out on him. Rudy Gobert, I would definitely be interested in some of Rudy's skills on my squad. Jordan Clarkson, somebody I'm interested in with my last pick. Also want to queue up Ben Simmons to see if I can grab him with my last pick as well. It's another player I'm going to be targeting. Then we got, and again, I'm drafting him late, like last pick, second to last pick. Don't go crazy, especially in a 10-team league. Like, be really careful what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? With that last pick. Rudy Gobert is off the board. Let me get back to the recap really quick. After Scoot, we had Claxton, Poeltl, Collins, Westbrook, Wiggins, Keldon Johnson, Tobias Harris, Rudy Gobert, D'Angelo Russell, who I am all the way out on. Bye-bye. No parts of that. No. I don't want none of that on my roster. Nope. Let's see what we got. Man, they killing me. Yo, you know that sound when they get the person that you already picked in your queue or you got in your queue? They killing me out here in these streets. They just took Jeremy Grant from me. Aspects, what you doing, man? We cool. I'm gonna do I did a whole rating your team and you just cleaning up my daggone queue. I'm messing with you, dog. It's all good. That's what mock drafts are for, especially when you do a public one. Don't be out here complaining, right? Huh? Nurkic is still here. It's okay. Thank goodness. I'm up. Thank goodness. Let's see what we got. So I got a couple minutes here. A couple of my centers are still around. Capella, again, I like him in conjunction with Okongwu, but I'm not gonna mess with him because I just don't know if I'm gonna get Okongwu. So I'm gonna just go ahead and get me some Valanciunas here. Give me some This is my first center. It's not a sexy pick. Valanciunas is not the Valanciunas that he was in Toronto. He's not that guy anymore. But he's big. He gets rebounds. Like whatever. I'm not crazy about it, but I'll take it. Next, I'll probably be looking at Brook Lopez because it looks like Okongwu has already been moved off of. Let me see. Somebody got Onyeka Okongwu? Let me check. No, is he still there? No, he's still around. So I'm gonna probably try to grab me if Capella falls, I'll grab him here, and then the next pick I'll look to target Onyeka Okongwu, and then I'll feel comfortable. But that whole grabbing one without the other, unless I just get Onyeka, I'm not messing with Capella. So after Valanciunas, we had Tyus Jones. I like that pick. Devin Vassell, love that pick. Clint Capella, again, not crazy about it unless I get Onyeka too and doing like a little stack action there. But actually, it just seems like a headache getting a big man from Atlanta, not knowing what's going to happen. Jordan Clarkson, Wendell Carter Jr. And I'm going to be up in one more pick after my man Madden's magnificent team. I'm looking at Brook Lopez here, looking at Terry Rozier, looking at Chris Paul. I might just have to draft Chris Paul because that is tons of like Chris Paul. People really sleep in 20 minutes. He could put up like phenomenal numbers. But I'm gonna stay on I'm gonna grab Chris Paul. I don't got no Chris Paul yet. I'm grabbing Chris Paul. I'm sorry. Like I got to. I'll just pay. I'll pay to play. So we got Brandon Miller still around. I'll cue him up. Michael Porter Jr., Mark Williams is still around. Aaron Gordon, I'm okay with that. Onyeka Okongwu. Robert Williams, I don't know what's going to happen there. So I'm going to stay away from him. Christian Wood, I want to take a flyer on him. I think that could work out for him. Really interested in seeing what Jalen Duren does. Markelle Fultz also. Amin Thompson, one of my favorite rookies. Terry Rozier's off the board. Love it. Let me get back to the recap real quick, y'all. So we got after Clint Capella, we had Jordan Clarkson, Wendell Carter Jr., Brook Lopez with the 3rd pick in the 10th round. I grabbed Chris Paul with the 4th pick in the 10th round. Terry Rozier, RJ Barrett, Kevin Huerter, Draymond, Podcast, Green. I'm out on Buddy Hield. I'm out on Malcolm Brogdon. I'm out on Derek White. Man, and that's sad because I was really hyped about Derek White, actually. Like, really hyped about him. Another thing to be mindful of, if you have an IR spot in your league, an IL or IR spot, draft people like Dan Gafford now, throw them in your IR, and then go pick somebody else up. Like, that's a hustle. You know, that's something like if there's injured players that people are sleeping on, grab them, throw them in your IR, let them bake slowly, and then grab somebody else off the wire until they are ready for action. So I'm going to be up in one more pick after my man Jets. Jets is cooking with hot grease, ladies and gentlemen. Like really, really. He grabbed Markelle. Ooh, that's good. So I'm looking at Nurkic here. I'm looking at Okongwu. I'm looking at Miller. I think I'm going to play it safe and grab Nurkic, the new starting center in Phoenix. And I feel like I'm okay with big men right now. I feel like that's fine with a few more picks, 2 more picks to be, to be sure I claim some valuable pieces here with these last 2 picks. Seems like I could use maybe a few wings. Seems like maybe, perhaps. Let me go down here. Yeah, I might be able to maybe grab a couple more wings, maybe a shooting guard or 2. That might be, Brandon Miller's still here. So if Brandon Miller's still on the board, I think I will actually go for Brandon Miller. It is Miller time. Miller time. Speaking of Miller time, I'm thirsty. Get a sip of this drink. Refreshing. Okay. Back to the recap. After Draymond, we have Bobby Portis, Aaron Gordon, Michael Porter Jr. Great pick till further notice. Buddy Hield, no. I am next on the clock. On the board, I got Brandon Miller. Look at me right in my eyes. He's coming home. After Michael Porter Jr., we have Buddy Hield. I'm out on Buddy Hield. Robert Williams III, Dan Gafford, yes. Markel Fultz, yes. Nurkic, yes. Marcus Smart, maybe. Miles Bridges, that is an amazing pick. David, you are crushing this draft, my friend. PJ Washington, Mike Conley, Klay Thompson. Yuck. I'm out on Klay. Malcolm Brogdon, remains to be seen. Brandon Miller, risky, but I'll take it. That's my pick. Ben Simmons, Jets, I am mad at you, bro. Mark Williams, TJ McConnell, huh? Josh Hart, okay. Let's see what we got. We have literally one more pick. One more pick. I want to make sure I get someone that makes a difference in fantasy basketball society. So I am going to be swinging for the proverbial fences. Yes, I am swinging for the fences. The top has been off. Boobies out. Yes, we come on, ma. Come on, ma. You already know. After Josh Hart, we had Colin Sexton. I wouldn't mess with that one. Onyeka Okongwu, yes. Karis LeVert, head to the no. And the waiver wire will be rich, folks. So that's the thing about a smaller league. Typically, what I would recommend to people who are playing in a 10-man league, 8-man league, or smaller than a 12-man league, to add a couple extra roster spots. So that way I'm up. Let me pick my pick, and then I'll come back to that thought. I'm going to grab Amen Thompson with my last pick. Amen. So you want to make sure that you add an extra roster spot or two, because you don't want your waiver wire to be looking like the daggone third team all NBA. You don't want it looking like the daggone Rucker. You don't want it looking like, one of these like Rico Hines summer leagues, right? Anyway, let's do a recap of my team. Really excited. Let's check it out. First, had Tyrese Halliburton. And I always like to rate my team, so I'm going to give this team a rating for a 10-team points league. Let's get it. Tyrese Halliburton, yes. Kevin Durant, yes. Cade Cunningham, emphatic, yes. James Harden, maybe. I need to see what happens. I believe in the beard, but if he sits out for 20 games trying to figure out what his situation is, this might have been a poor decision. So be mindful. If you're drafting James Harden, make sure you get value on him. He fell down to me here. I grabbed him in, I think, the 4th round. Make sure you get value for him, and also be prepared for the risk that comes along with it. Fred VanVleet, yes. Paul George, yes. Chet Holmgren, come on, man. Yes. Scoot Henderson, maybe. I want to say yes, but maybe, just because I never seen him play. Not in the NBA, like he played with the Ignite, whatever. He played Summer League, whatever. He ain't played against Dame. He ain't played against Steph. So let's see. Jonas Valanciunas, maybe. Chris Paul, maybe. Nurkic, maybe. Brandon Miller, maybe. Amen Thompson, maybe. A lot of maybes. So due to all of the maybes, for a 10-man league, I don't know if I should have that many maybes. I'm going to give myself 3 out of 5 GOAT rating. Now, let me go ahead and switch this thing over here. I'm going to check the chat. If some of my people in the chat have some questions, you can drop them. Miguel asked me, how many leagues you got? Like, how many leagues you got? Listen, I want to say last season and the season before, I was overdoing it, y'all. This is one thing. This is a nugget for y'all. Pay attention. If you love fantasy basketball, get in as many leagues as you can handle. Maybe try to go balls to the wall, get in 12 leagues. If you felt like that season was too tough for you and you didn't enjoy it, then I would scale back a little bit. So to answer your question, Miguel, right now, I think I am in approximately, right now I'm in approximately 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 leagues. 3 of which have been around for like 8 years, right? So this is a group of guys. We've been together. Some of us play in the same leagues. We have a few different people, but 3 of my leagues are like friends from way back when playing fantasy together. Then I have 1 league that is members of our community with the Believe in Fantasy podcast. And then I'm in another league that I'm doing just for research. So that's what I'm doing. Last year, I did way too many. So I would recommend finding out where you are. I might take 1 new league this year. I want to do a sleeper league just because I'm creating content and I want to make sure that that community, the people who are on sleeper, get someone who gives them some support and advice. So I might do some stuff there. Great question, Miguel. I really appreciate it. Oh, shoot. Let's give a shout out to Jamie. Jamie says, thanks for the advice last season. I won the title. Jamie Ragsdale, do me a big favor. Shoot me a DM in the Discord if you are in the Discord. If you're not in the Discord, join the Discord. Come on, man. www.believeinfantasy. And send me a screenshot. I want to see that because I put all of our wins. I put them on Instagram on the story highlights. So if you guys go to Believe in Fantasy on Instagram, you'll see all of the championships. I want to do a count because we got so many champions that came through this community. So congratulations. And yo, the job is not done. Job not done, like Kobe said. We got to win another one this year. So I hope I see you in the Discord so we can work on getting that back-to-back championship. Let's see what we got here. We got Carter. What up, Carter? Carter says Shaden Sharp will be good with no superstar guard in Portland. I don't know. Again, a lot of the young players in fantasy, my strategy has always been to just kind of like fade them until I see something. So, for example, people were super hyped about Luka and Trae Young the year they came out in fantasy in our Dynasty League. People were hyped about them. In our Dynasty draft, I wasn't even really looking for rookies that year. I believe I was coming off of a championship. So I wasn't looking for rookies. You know what I'm saying? I was like, who are the players that people drop that are really good that I can get so I can win another championship? So I saw Luka playing that season, and I was like, oh, he's way better than Trae. And I think that first season, he might have averaged like 18, 19 points a game. So I sent, and I always tell this story, big shout out to the professor, one of my league mates. I sent the professor a trade. I think I sent them DeMar DeRozan and something else, like something really small for Luka. At the time, it was crazy. Like DeMar's fantasy production was way more than Luka Doncic, way more than Luka. And then I was throwing another piece. So he was like, yeah, take that little rookie. But I knew from doing the eye test. The thing about fantasy basketball players, many of us rely on the data and the metrics and the analytics so heavily that we miss out on a key component of analyzing a fantasy basketball player, which is the eye test. Even if you don't have, if you're in another country and you don't have access to watching the games every night like we do, whatever, check out their highlights. Check out what people are saying. Watch the replays and kind of see what players do. When I saw Luka, I knew. I was like, yo, he's going to be something else. And then the next year, he made a big leap. The next year, he made a bigger leap. And I've had him on my dynasty team for years. The professor burned me years later because I wanted Evan Mobley really bad. So I think I might have sent him Tyrese Halliburton and Josh Giddey for Evan Mobley, which you guys know Tyrese Halliburton has turned into like a fantasy gem. a darling in fantasy. So for that, I got burnt back. So it comes back around. You know what I'm saying? So my question, my to your point with Shaden Sharp, he might be good, but I'm just not. I'm not messing with it. It's too, it's too much risk for me. Aspect says, hey man, with the draft, by the way, so I pulled off a deal to get marketing for Maxey and Cam Johnson, 12 team points. So you got a deal to get marketing for Maxey and Cam Johnson? Yeah. My thoughts are you better get off this live stream and go accept that trade. What? Man, that's like top off. Boobies is out. Go get it, my guy. Yeah, I'm doing that all day, every day, and tomorrow. You already know, man. Don't forget, play the waivers, set your lineups, and check out the next episode, you freaking fantasy nerds. This episode was presented to you by Bet Online, where the game starts.